Good morning everyone and welcome to Miss Rolle's first ever science show. So what kind of spurred this on was that with my year 4s at the moment we're looking at digestion, and this is a great experiment. I would have done this in class about seeing firsthand how when we eat food how it goes through our body and comes out. So we're going to basically be making poo today, which is really cool. The first thing I want you to do, let's double check that we've got all the right equipment. So you need an old pair of tights. You're only going to be using one leg, but you will be cutting the end, so please make sure it's an old pair. You need a funnel like so. You need some kind of like Ziploc bag, just something that's going to be sealed so that you can put some contents in it. We then need some scissors. Now please make sure on this activity that you have some adult supervision, because we're going to be using scissors, we're going to be using different utensils. We need to make sure we're being safe. So a pair of scissors, a potato masher or anything that you can mash something with, some kind of tube. This is actually a garlic peel press thing, some vinegar, a bowl and a tray, and then of course a sandwich. I've just put jam in my sandwich. You can put whatever you like in there. So let's get started. I'm going to take off. All we need at the beginning is a bowl, our sandwich, and we need the scissors and the potato masher. So if you have made your sandwich, the first thing I want you to do is take a little bite out of your sandwich. This is the start of our digestion. We've taken a bite, we're chewing, and what actually happens when we eat the sandwich. So this bowl represents my mouth. So what I'm going to do is put the sandwich in my mouth, and I've got two different types of utensils that I'm using: scissors and a potato masher. Now definitely anyone from year 4 upwards, you should know that the scissors represent one type of tooth and the potato masher represents another. Think about what each utensil does. So a potato masher is this kind of action. Scissors are doing that kind of action. We're going to start with the scissors. So I want you to cut your sandwich. Now this is your incisors. So your incisors are the first things teeth that you bite into food, and they're cutting the food up. So I want you to cut it like so. This is great because you can just follow along. Maybe you'll cut your sandwich a bit quicker than I am. And this is all the work that they do whenever we bite into food. That's our incisors being used. We're going to cut. As I said, using an adult, please, if you need some help. And then as you can see in my bowl, I've now cut the bread. What we're going to do next, we're going to use our mashers, which is our molars, and we're going to mash the food. So if you can, really mash down. Think about all that crushing that your molars do, and they're all the teeth at the back of your mouth because they push down on the food to mash it. So nice and mashed. It's a bit of hard work here. It's good exercise. So we're going to mash our food. It's a bit noisy. Mash the food, and I'm going to say that's quite mashed now. Hopefully I've mashed it enough, but you can see it's kind of got a bit more smudgy and into more pieces after my mashing. Okay, so we've mashed now our bread. Okay, that's all happened in our mouth. We've used our scissors and our potato masher as our teeth. Now, we have a really big tube that goes from our mouth all the way down into our stomach, and it is called the esophagus. Now, obviously your esophagus is a lot longer than this, but this is what I'm going to be using today. And my esophagus goes straight into my stomach. Our Ziploc bag is our stomach today. So I'm going to put that like this, and I think I'm going to have to use my hands for this to put in through the tube my food that my mouth has chewed up. It's going all the way down into our esophagus. I've read somewhere it takes about 7 seconds from when you swallow your food for it to go into your stomach, which is quite an interesting fact. So you can do that maybe next time you swallow some food, count how many seconds, and then that's how long it's taken to get into your stomach. Okay, so we've gone through our esophagus. The food is now in our stomach. Okay, now what's really cool about our stomach is that when it makes noise, that's actually the walls of our stomach moving. And the aim of the stomach is to kill any bad stuff that you've taken in once you've eaten something, and also to start breaking down the food even more. This is where you need your vinegar, because the vinegar is like the acid that you have in your stomach. That's if I can open my vinegar. Here we go. What you're going to need to do is pour the vinegar into the bag, and this is like stomach acid, and then you're going to start squeezing like so, squeezing the food, because this is like the stomach acid breaking down the food. So I'm going to close the Ziploc bag. This is my stomach muscles squeezing, 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 because it's breaking down the food in my, and you can actually see already, it's really cool how already the food suddenly got a lot smaller with that vinegar, and it's all being broken down. Should get nice and mushy. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. This is really good as well for your kind of fine motor skills. Get those hands squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. And then the next part of our digestive system, once we're moved from the stomach, is our intestines. Now we have a small intestine that moves into our large intestine, which moves into our rectum, which then goes to our anus. So to represent our intestines, this is where the tights come in, because it's a really, really long tube. And for us to understand that, we need to see it. Okay, so that's why you're going to be using the tights. Now, with the tights, it's going to be a little bit tricky because we've got to squeeze through the tights. So, hopefully you've given your stomach contents a nice big squeeze, and then what you're going to want to do is use your funnel, and this is where you need your tray. The tray is a really cool part of the experiment, because the tray acts like the blood and the circulation in your body. And what's happening is when we push through the tights, some of the liquid and contents is going to come out, so it's going to get a bit messy. And hopefully what's going to be on our tray is actually waste. So any waste will get squeezed out and go to the next relevant organ. And then also all the nutrients will get squeezed out, and then that will go into your blood, into your circulation to get pumped around the body and where it's necessary. So that's a really cool part. So what you're going to need to do, make sure you've just got one strand of your tights, okay? You're going to put your funnel into the tights, okay? And then, and this is where you might also need some adults' help to pour. You're going to pour your contents of what's in your Ziploc bag into the funnel. Now it's definitely going to smell a little bit because it's got all the vinegar in it. So pour that into the funnel like so. That's pretty much all of it. I should have brought with me actually, is it going to start filtering through? Oh, I'm going to have to use my finger a little bit. If you've got a stick, maybe use your finger a little bit to start pushing that through the funnel. And then hopefully once it starts coming through, you can start squeezing it and you can see some of it's coming out. I might have to use my scissors to try and get that through the funnel. Hopefully it's coming through. Technical error here. Yeah, my funnel's quite small. So I'm pushing, it is coming through. You can see it's kind of coming out a little bit, but it's just taking a little bit longer. Hopefully it'll come through in a moment. It is coming through slowly but surely. What I might do actually, just for the sake of this, is I'm just going to tip my funnel the other way because I want it to come into the small intestine. And then what we're going to do is start squeezing, and you can see it coming out? Because this, you're going to start squeezing it through the small intestine. And on your tray you should be getting lots and lots of nutrients coming out on your tray, because this is what's happening in your stomach. It's all getting squeezed out, coming through your organs, through your small intestine, through your large intestine. It's going to come all the way through. Push it down, push it down, push it down, push it all the way down, and then hopefully, see, I'm just trying to push this a little bit further because you've got bits coming up. It's pushing all the way through. You've got lots coming out. I can still feel it in there. And actually my tray's got a lot of nutrients now and waste on it, which is just great. And then hopefully you'll be able to just keep it moving, keep it moving. Just trying to hopefully keep going like this. Pull it through your hands. The stomach wall is really pushing. And then hopefully you're going to have at the end with your scissors, if I cut that, you can squeeze, and that would be like your poop. How cool is that? In one session we've managed to go through the whole of the digestion system. Now my sandwich wasn't very big, so we didn't actually get that much at the end, but you can see actually that what I've picked up is a lot drier than what it was in the stomach. And then on my tray I've got all this nutrients and waste that's either going to be taken, that you might you have it as urine, and then you might also have your nutrients. Let's think about in our jam sandwich, we've got like fibre, got a bit of sugar that we might want to use in the body. So there you go. You've got digestion in one. I hope you've enjoyed it. I definitely have. I definitely got a little bit dirty, but that's what science is about. And hopefully now you can see the whole digestive system, and you can have a little bit more of a thought about that when you eat something now, because you know exactly what happens through your body, which I think is pretty cool. All right, I will see you guys all soon. Hope you enjoyed the video today. Make sure you clean up.